We talked about this before the week, right? We said maybe they're going to try, they as an LSU, they're going to try to run the football and establish that as a way of being their defense.
Right.
Right, like they did it. Like they made it. Listen to me. There was that one stretch in the first half, maybe going to halftime.
It was very close to halftime.
26 rushing attempts, 7 passing attempts.
I honestly think that was before their last drive of the first half. That was the run to pass stats at that point.
And so and they were running very effectively. They were moving the ball, and you started seeing like, damn, 22-7, but Missouri hadn't really had the ball much in the second quarter. They haven't scored much, and I think you don't want to hold the offense back at all, right? But they realized, all right, this is something that we're going to have to do. Like, this is something that we are going to have to try to help our defense with, limit some of the possessions because they're obviously exhausted. They're getting gashed a little bit in the first half.
It's not even a matter of if they're tired or not.
Right.
It's just a matter of
limit the possessions.
Limited
to the other
on
team,
defense,
right? Especially with an up-tempo offense.
Well, when you got a defense that's struggling, putting them out there for more plays ain't gonna help.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you
got to be able to play.
change.
Let's start playing keep away a little bit.
Right.
Like, I get it. We want to score at a very breakneck pace and just keep doing it. But the more we keep putting them out there, the harder it is because it's going to be for them to actually show up and actually turn out some production.
You saw it happen against the 2019 LSU defense that wasn't bad, but they were so unused to going out there that frequently that Dave Aranda and that defense got exposed a little bit because you sit down for 3 plays, it's like, oh shit, we just scored again. Like, get up, defense up,
and look,
it's like, oh shit, we're not ready.
And
you have no time to make adjustments. And
absolutely,
this defense is far worse than that defense was. You had players on that defense.
And honestly, look, we were hard on Mike Denbrock at the beginning of the season, and I have to give him all the credit
flowers
because what he has done with this offense and the adjustments he has made, and him being able to teach these guys, say, hey, this is where you need to be. Honestly, relying on some of these guys that maybe had some rough game or two early in the season. I mean, Brian Thomas, if you looked at Brian Thomas after the first game of the season, you're like, this guy, he doesn't have good hands. He drops balls all the time. He can't make the big plays. And now he's leading the country in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, he was able to say, okay, these are the guys. These guys are very good. I'm going to continue to figure out a way to make sure I get them in the right situations, in the right positions. And Jaden Daniels was able to. I think he finally took the reins off and said, hey, we're going to let you go and do this. And now the crazy part about it is you look at what he's trying to do and you say, okay, how do we balance this elite, explosive, I can score at any point, from anywhere on the field offense to, okay, I want to keep that.
I can play any game I want offense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to keep that dangerous offense in rhythm, and I want them to continue to score a bunch of points. But I also want to keep this balance, and I want to be able to control some of the clock and be able to, and that's a very fine line to kind of manage, right? And I think you saw it against Missouri. I think you saw them do that on the road, 11 a.m. game against a top 25 team, undefeated, riding high. Yeah, they may not have beat the best teams in the country, but they're winning games, and they had a really good offense. And the other thing that I enjoyed watching was if you looked at the matchup before the game, right? If you looked at, hey, what does Missouri do better on defense than they do anything else on defense, and that's stopping the run. And you watch what LSU did to them offensively running the football, that to me gives me a lot of confidence because that means the offensive line is really starting to play the way we anticipated them playing, right? The running backs, Logan Diggs has been a godsend, right? He has put himself in a position where you can he's going to rush for 1,000 yards
The way
this year.
you said it, you asked for this probably about 3 to 4 games ago is you wanted to see someone else in that backfield besides our quarterback take the lion's share of the work and actually start putting up the numbers. He's done that and more, right?
I mean, 23 carries, 22, 23 carries.
I think he had 24, I think.
You don't normally see that from running backs anymore, right?
But
like
to
you
be
really
able
don't.
to be able to do that, like we know what they're capable of throwing the ball in the passing game, and that's been pretty cool. And I think the ability for him to step up, the ability for the offensive line to kind of work more cohesively together and kind of get comfortable with each other, I think that's been able to allow them to really, like the offense to really open up the way that it has. And now you're seeing, I mean, you can't sit here and say they're not one of the best offenses in the nation right now, right?
Probably the best offense.
And when you roll it that way, now you get the defense to kind of step up and kind of meet that bar a little bit, and you're dealing with a dangerous team. But that's what we always know. It's LSU, right? In the SEC, a top-tier team in the SEC. Those teams put the little pieces together and start doing that. It's scary where it could go. And that's where they're trending to.